Hey guys, welcome back to another video tutorial. Today I'm going to be kind of talking about how to jungle as Terrorblade. And this is something that's very interesting, and it's kind of revolve around two things here. So the first thing that you're going to need to do here is take conjure image, and you're going to have to learn how to use the illusions to kind of tank for you and use them to maximize your damage as much as possible. And the second thing this whole process is going to revolve around is kind of sacrificing or suiciding yourself to the jungle creeps in order to get a quick trip back to the fountain to get a full heal as well as pick up your items. And those are really the two things that you need to master if you're going to do this. One thing to note is that in the very recent patch that just happened, 6.82c, the Terrorblade illusion damage got increased, damage taken. So it's now 425% damage, where previously it was like 300%. So that's actually, it's a direct nerf to Terrorblade Jungle because your illusions cannot tank nearly as much. Nevertheless, this is still viable, so I'm still going to show you how to do this post-patch. So first of all, you're going to want to summon your first illusion here around the 5-second mark, and you're going to start running towards the small camp. If you're doing this on the raiding side, it's the same thing. Summon around 5-second mark and run towards this small camp. And if you time this properly, you should get there approximately at 30 seconds, which is when the small camp spawns, which is good. And just summon a second one whenever your cooldown is up there. And you're basically just going to try and let the illusion that's about to expire tank as much as possible. And after that, let the second illusion here also tank as much as possible. Now, I'm going to bring up a Wraith Band on my quick shop here. Okay, so I killed that one pretty easily, so I'm going to back off and wait for it to respawn here. Okay, and go back in. Bring another Wraith Band up here. So, the idea with this is you want to keep your illusions alive as long as possible. However, with the illusion change, that's actually gotten a lot harder. So it's not the biggest deal if you do let them die, eventually. And basically what I'm doing here is trying to gather up enough gold to get, as many component pieces for my two Wraith Bands as possible. And if you're in a situation where you don't quite have enough gold, here's what you can do. So I don't have enough gold for either piece, but I do have enough gold for a tango. And since I respawn in faster than the sell timer, I can sell the tango as soon as I respawn to get the full amount of gold back. And in that case, now all I have to do is really wait a couple seconds and I can buy my Slippers of Agility there. So that's a cool trick. If you don't quite have like 150 gold, you can buy something from the shop, whether it be like tango or a couple branches or whatever. You can still sell it because your respawn timer is faster than the 10 seconds that it takes for you to resell it. So moving on, I'm just going to come straight back to the small camp here and start doing it again. At this point, it's a lot easier because you do have some stats to buffer your hero up as well as your illusions. Remember that Terrorblade illusions, or any illusions really, they only get buffs based on your stats. So plus damage and all that other stuff doesn't help at all. And that's the reason why we are getting two Wraith Bands, because they are very cost efficient in terms of stats. And we need as much stats as possible for our illusions to start tanking here. And basically what I like to do is I like to rotate between the small camps here, and obviously try and use my illusions to tank as much damage as possible. And looks like I have my second Wraith Band, which is great. And as soon as I get level 4, I'm going to use Metamorph and start at the hard camp here. And basically the way you want to do this is, same with any other ranged hero, you want to tight as much as possible. And I'm gonna try and kill this camp before it gets to 4 minutes, so I can have the respawn going there as well. And I'm gonna queue up my Yasha here. So the idea behind this build is, you're just spamming as much agility as you possibly can get. 2 Wraith Bands and a Yasha is pretty much, as much agility as you can possibly get in the early game here. And that's going to help out your illusions a lot. It's going to help out your farm time a lot as well. Grab these and deliver them to me as well. And let's see. Yep. Just going to continue farming. One more camp at least here. Actually, it looks like I won't even have to do that. Okay, so that was my second suicide. Basically, I had around 150 or 60 gold, which is it's pretty much the maximum gold you can have for a suicide. If you have like over 50 gold, I would say it's no longer worth it to suicide. So only suicide if you have under 50 gold. If you have over 50 gold, then just walk back to base for the full heal, because it's really not worth it in that case. And there I bought a pair of tangos. I don't think a pair of tangos is really necessary if you're really intent on suiciding a lot. But I do like my KDA somewhat, so I don't like suiciding all the time. So after 2 suicides, I'm pretty much done. I'm not gonna suicide a third time. And I'm gonna wait for the stomp here. Yeah. So basically, after your 2 suicides, you're gonna have 2 Wraith Bands and part of your Yasha. So you're gonna be very, very strong, and it's not gonna be easy for anyone to kind of, or it's gonna be very easy for you to just rotate through the jungle camps, really. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do here. Okay. Now. Well, that's interesting. Now, generally what you want to do at level 5 with your second metamorph is you want to push a tower. And generally when you're doing this, you want to go to the lane that has the strongest matchup. So you want to go to a winning lane and start pushing the tower. I was going to go top and push the tower, but then, my bot friends over there decided to feed top lane, so I will no longer be doing that. And in this case, if something unfortunate happens like that, I generally will wait until I'm level 6 to get one more level in Metamorph before I start my tower push. But keep in mind that you generally want to use like your second Metamorph or third one to push the enemy tower. And that's just because, playing Terrorblade is a lot like playing Lycan, for example, where your focus is primarily on split pushing, split farming, and, enemy towers. And be that as it may, none of my lanes are really winning right now, so I'm going to do one more base trip before I start pushing the towers here. So now I'm just going to run back to base and let's see, I have to choose one of these towers to push, and I'm probably going to go top still because it looks like it's the strongest lane right now. A lot of the time in pubs your mid lane might be winning, so you might choose to go there, but for the purposes here, I'm going to go top. Yeah, I'm sure they're fine here. Hard bots go on network. Okay, so basically, as soon as I get here, I'm gonna metamorph and I'm gonna try everything in my power to kill this tower before my metamorph runs out. So generally, that means focusing the tower as hard as possible. The good thing is that, generally speaking, it's very, very easy to kill the towers with Metamorph, just because you have a huge amount of damage. And if you go top lane or mid lane, if your mid laner has an advantage, it's very easy to push mid lane, and it's usually very easy to push top lane as well, just because it's your safe lane versus their enemy offlaner. So good matchup there. Now after I get the first tower, generally what I'll do is I'll go back to the jungle and start farming the rest of my Yasha. And you can see I get my Yasha right about 9 minutes, which I think is average timing. You could probably do a little faster, but after the 6.82c nerf to the illusions, it actually has gotten a bit harder to Terrorblade jungle here. Okay, so after you get your Yasha, this is really when your farm fest kicks in. This is when your illusions become super strong. They can start clearing small camps pretty easily, even by themselves. And it's pretty much when you want to be powering yourself up as fast as possible. Now during this time, the process is very simple. Just spam illusions and try and farm out your jungle as fast as possible. And what I'm doing here is I'm waiting for my metamorph to be up again. As soon as your metamorph is up again, you want to be pushing another tier 1 tower. And that's pretty much what you want to be doing at all times. Your metamorph timing is basically your push timing, and it's very, very important to keep that in mind. Because, that's pretty much how this hero works. That's what gives it the huge advantage it can get. Especially in the jungle where you're not farming as fast as you would in, say, a safe lane. Okay. So I see my metamorph timing is about to be up again, so I'm going to go back to base heal and start pushing another lane soon. Not much to do here, just watching. Looks like the bots are pushing top, which means I will be pushing a different lane, probably going to be going bottom to push this next metamorph wave. And here I'm going to get some boots. And I'll be showing you guys a kind of replay of me doing this in a actual, like party ranked game. And it's a pretty high ranked game, so you guys can see what happens when you do this in real games. And in that game in particular, I got completely screwed up because the enemies knew I was jungling, and Terrorblade is kind of weak early on. But the great thing about Terrorblade is that even if they screw you up early game, you can catch up late game just because of how strong his illusions are and how good he is at farming. Okay, so here I see a bunch of heroes top and mid, so that means bottom is a free tower. And this is going to happen a lot if you're playing Terrorblade jungle. The enemies are going to have advantages in other areas, so you really have to push your advantage where they're not. And basically, the way you push your advantage is by taking all of their towers. So I'm going to continue onto a tier 2 here because I still have half duration on my metamorph, which should be enough to get the tier 2, especially if they're doing stuff in other lanes. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. And you can see once again how easily Terrorblade takes down towers. It's really one of the greatest strengths to this hero. It's an extremely strong split push hero, extremely strong like ratting hero, and it's very, very strong in the late game as well. So those are some very synergistic attributes that he has. And as soon as you kill your tower, you always want to go wherever there's farm. So you always want to be farming as fast as possible, whether that's in the enemy jungle, whether that's in your jungle, or anywhere really. And basically, I'm going to kind of keep this video up until I get my Manta, so I can kind of show you the general Manta timing. And I see a bunch of enemy heroes in bot lane, so I'm just going to leave now and go back to my jungle. Could use those tangos. Also keep in mind that, once you're at this point, if there's a free lane anywhere, you can go ahead and just take that free lane because, you are going to be a carry late game, so you do want some lane farm as well. And the later on it gets, the more farm you're going to be able to get. So around this point, generally what I'll do is I'll just start sending illusions into lanes to kind of CS, and I'll show you what that looks like. Basically, this is what I do. I send an illusion into lane while I queue my hero to different jungle camps. And this is pretty much how you can get the most CS out of Terrorblade. Takes a bit of practice, but you know, it's actually pretty easy to CS with Terrorblade illusions, and by doing this, you can pretty much CS in 2 places at once, and this is really, you know, the key of how you can farm as much as possible as Terrorblade. And you should be pretty much farming, you know, somewhere with your illusion the entire game, and then somewhere else with your hero at the same time. So always keep that in mind. Okay, missing CS. And yep, just gonna keep farming here. And I almost have my Manta, so you can see the, I guess, ideal Manta timing you would get is around 15 minutes. However, you know, most games are not going to be ideal, so a more realistic timing might be like 17 to 20 minutes. If you can get your Manta between then, you're definitely still going to be in the game, and you can also catch up pretty easily. So yeah, so you can see I already have my Manta there. It's about 15 minutes in. So this is pretty much where I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to be uploading a video of me playing Jungle Terrorblade in ranked matchmaking, you know, bit later on. So check out that video if you're still interested in how to do this, so you can kind of see how you play Terrorblade, not only in the beginning parts of the game, but also as the game progresses into the late game stage. So definitely stay for that. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. I'll be coming out with some new videos soon. So yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time, guys. Bye.